Everybody, this is a meeting of the Pembroke Zoning Board of Appeals, Monday, May 20th, 7 p.m. My name's Frederick Cassavant, I'm the chair. I can just ask the other members to identify themselves.
John Grenier, clerk.
Louis Carpenter.
Fraser Townley.
Okay. So we are going to take, this is just the Woodworth, so. Okay, so the application of Ronald Woodworth, notice is hereby given the Pembroke Zone of Appeals will hold a public hearing on Monday, May 20th, 2024, 7 p.m. Pembroke Town Hall, room 6, on the application of Ronald Woodworth, 183 Hobmark Street, Pembroke, requesting a variance in accordance with the bylaws, section 41D3, side and rear yards, to construct a two-bay garage, excuse me, back-to-back about 575 square feet. The proposed garage will be attached to an existing four-bay garage. Side setback replacement will be 12 feet, 20-foot setbacks required to the side. And 4 automobiles will be housed in the garage bays. Properties at 183 Hobmark Street, Pembroke, and this Residence District A, Assessors Map D6, Lot 21. And who's here for that? Why don't you just come on up and just let us know what you got, what you're looking to do, Mr. Woodworth. You just have to talk into the.
Okay.
That's not amplifying. It's just for the.
Okay.
The people recording.
Yeah.
So whenever you're ready.
What do you want me to do?
Just let us know what you're looking to do.
Oh, I'm looking
Yeah.
to build an additional two-bay garage. So now I have a total of four bays for my 4 vehicles and 2 bays for my storage. One is going to be all my tool chest, the other is gonna be all my equipment, my lawnmowers, right on my snow blower, my snow plow. So 4 cars in the vehicle in front and 2 back for storage.
So a total of 6. So, right?
What's
Four-
that?
4 bays plus 2, 6 bays?
Yeah.
What's the total square footage gonna be?
The new bay,
The total, what, the two garages together, I guess.
all 6 bays?
Yeah.
I would estimate it if I get,
20 by 20 times 6.
1,200, something like that? 1,200 square feet, something like that?
575, okay.
That'd be about 15, I guess, yeah, that's pretty,
Let's see. Let me saw the figure.
No, it's on in there. I can see it.
John, you have any questions, comments?
No, I have none, actually.
Opposed?
Is there anybody here to oppose?
I don't think there's anyone here for or against Mr. Woodworth's application? Okay. All right. Does you have any questions?
Just curious what this distance is. Your current garage, the current setup before the proposal, this corner right there, do you know how far that is from the fence?
Are you saying 12 feet?
The proposal is
Yeah,
12 feet, just curious what it is right now.
Okay, that's the
So
addition.
not the addition.
No, that's
currently.
the-
What's that corner's distance
Yeah.
ballpark?
12 feet right there.
Yeah.
Is that before the addition or after the addition?
After the addition.
A little before.
After the addition front, we got 12 feet. I need 20.
Currently, what would you say it is now?
Oh,
Oh, Mr. Woodworth, you just gotta talk into the
Yeah,
mic.
yeah.
Yeah, sorry, just for the minutes. No, it's okay.
it's, I would say probably 30, something like that.
All right, so it looks like the existing 4 bay is about 1,100 square feet, and then adding 575. Okay. So the only issue I see here, Mr. Woodward, is in the Residence District A, on accessory uses for garages, it's limited to a 4-car garage. We've had that come up in the past. You know, I think the variance for just purely the setback isn't problematic, because the lot is kind of funny shaped. You know, it kind of comes back off the Hobmark Street and thins out. But I'm having trouble with the accessory use with the garage. You know, excluding a garage, it can't be more than 4 they say 4 automobiles.
That's what my wife had 2 vehicles, I had 2 vehicles.
Yeah, but in the past, we've had this, and it's not so much what you're claiming, and I don't doubt that you're doing that.
Right.
But what you're putting in there, but it's really just the size of it, being a 4-car garage.
Yeah.
And that's what the resident says, the way I read this, accessory use, in Res A is limited to a 4-car garage,
Right.
right? Size-wise.
Oh. I have 2 for storage? They're in the back, 2 for storage.
Right, but it's part of the garage, right?
Well, I suppose it's attached to it, yeah.
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 Yeah, so that's accessory use, I think, and if you're exceeding, I think we've, in the past, said,
So the definition of a garage size varies,
right,
you know? Tiny ones, 20 by 20.
I think
grand
we've,
ones.
I think Mr. Very, can you come up for a second?
Oh, yeah, that'd be great. Because I know garage space, I can have a tiny 20 by 20 for a Toyota, and I can have a 30 by 30, so it's.
We've had this come up in the past.
Yeah,
it's
that'd be
being
great,
here.
George,
Can you,
thank you.
your opinion on the 4-car garage, the size, what that can be?
My sense of it is just that when you go over 4 cars, 1,200 square feet, we call it, you just need to be here. And if it looks nice and fits right, okay, then it's, you guys can allow it. But I think at the building department level, when it gets to 4 cars, we gotta kick it over here, and he's here, so.
Right, but there was no request for variance on that, right? So,
So that's 20 by 20 is a single car times 4 is 1,200 square feet, is what you're saying?
Yeah, we're going 24 by 24, I think it's like.
Oh,
five-
okay, all
five,
right.
yeah.
The fuzzy, yeah,
Right.
that's fine.
Quick question, would this addition have doors as in you could drive into it, expanding the driveway out to it, or would it purely be, you have to access?
And a front door,
Existing.
an overhead door,
Yeah,
and a rear, I'm putting in a rear overhead door and a 2-bay garage.
got it, okay.
I bring all my stuff out the back, so they're going in the front.
I don't have any questions, no.
yeah, I'm just having trouble getting by the 4-car
Bylaws.
garage limitation. Because we've had this come up in the past, and I think it got litigated. And, you know, we, as a board, said 4-car garage is about, based on what Georgia told us, 11,000, 1,200 square feet, something to that effect. And it was a similar scenario where they were saying, well, I'm only putting, and I don't doubt what you're saying, what you're gonna do, but, you know, we're claiming it was, they were only gonna put 4 cars in the garage, and it was, you know, it was like 1,600, so it was almost bigger than their house. So, I mean, if it was just maybe purely some sort of storage and not garage, you know, I could maybe get behind it in some way, but I don't think at least for me, having basically a 6-bay garage, you know, wouldn't fall within the bylaw for the Res A. It's just my interpretation. I don't know if the board members have another thought on it.
So if you say I'm gonna have a single bay garage that's 30 by 30, you know, so definition of a garage is vague based on how big you want it. So I don't know how that works.
I think when this went to court, that they agreed.
Just talking, this George.
Yeah, George, thank you.
Because Sue can't get the minutes.
When this went to court, I believe that the court ruled that the way we're interpreting it at the building department is over 1,200 square feet. The 4 cars is just the size of the building, not what you're gonna put in there.
Right.
And that was approved by the court, so.
Right, I think they agreed with our interpretation, because it was, we said it should be around 1,200 square feet, but this is gonna be almost 1,700 square feet.
But if he just applies, I don't know, I guess it would be a variance for larger than 4-car garage.
Yeah, to be a use variance.
Yeah, well, size variance, no?
Well, it's a use, an accessory use would be the garage. Being more than 4 cars would be a use variance to allow a 6-car garage.
You have 2 right now, so we're at 4 bays, right?
He has 4, I think 4 now.
4 now,
He's
yeah.
adding
Oh, she
2.
had 2, okay, shoot.
Yep.
I think a lot of the rule depends on if it looks right. If you had a large piece of property or whatever, and you had a big building way out back, it could be bigger and bigger. I think it's just sort of things don't get out of proportion.
I have a double lot, I have plenty of room. The double lot I have.
Oh, the lot of body is yours?
I have a double lot.
Oh, that's a double lot we're showing right now?
Yeah, it shows 2 lots, is it?
I'm sorry.
That's what both yours?
The property line, so you have the lot next to it?
I own both those lots.
The one,
So both of these are,
this one?
Yeah,
This one over here.
yeah,
Oh, I didn't know that.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Both, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
There's plenty of room up there,
I didn't know that.
yeah.
How many acres is that? I'm sorry, I don't have the plans.
Almost 2 acres, I think, over 2.
wait, so, this is your property on the other side of this fence? 'Cause
Can
I
I come
think-
over here and look at
Yeah,
it?
go ahead. Just want to make sure. So, right here would be right there.
That's my neighbor's garage.
That's your neighbor's
Yeah,
garage.
he got a variance to put that garage in, that's that property, right?
So, that's his neighbor's here on this side.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Those lots and then, yeah, those are- yeah.
It'd be good to get a picture of the existing house and what that proposal might look like and compare it to the overall size too, because if it's half the size of the house, that's when it's gonna look off. But if it's proportional, it's gonna look too. But we just have this side view of the pool.
So what do you want to see?
The entire house as it is now, because we're only seeing part of the garage.
Okay.
Will be, so it'd be good to see the context of the entire house as it is, the proposal, if it passes some kind of eyeball test, it's a little bit more support for that argument.
Do you want to
Yeah, I'll pump that up.
present that, or are you looking to look for it now, or asking Mr. Woodworth to do that?
I'm looking for it now.
Okay.
Since right now.
Okay. George, what do you usually consider a 4-car garage roughly?
1,200 square feet. The math comes out to like 11 something if you use the standard 24 by 24
And
garage.
that's a good size.
So it seems like the rule is just limiting the size of the building without a size variance. I'm not sure if it's a use variance. I think it's just the way the bylaw is written, it throws you off by saying cars. But you can have 10 cars outside. So it makes sense that you could have 10 cars inside, it's the size of the building.
Right, and that's what I'm focused on. I don't really, if he had 1 car in there, or, to me, it's not the 4-car part of it, to me, is just the size. That's
Yes.
not, because anyone could say they're putting
Yeah.
2 cars in the garage and make it gigantic, right? And there was no request for a variance for that. So we don't have a variance request for that. To allow something more, okay.
Can you just add that, or do you have to re-advertise or something?
I'm not sure. They need to re-advertise.
This is the existing setup as it is now, so if you add that on top of it, it would probably be longer.
Right.
Looks longer than the original house.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, for me, just from a consistency standpoint, if there's a way to redo it where it's not garage, part of the garage, then there's a way I could get behind it, but as it sits here now, to me, it's a 6-car garage, and the bylaw specifically says 4-car garage. And that's under a use, so, a use variance, dimensionally, I think you'd be fine, but I don't know how you get a use variance there. to add that much more. Again, if you think there's a way you could redo the plan or the request, I wouldn't make you re-advertise or anything, but, and make it not necessarily garage. We had that in another one, I believe, where he sort of made some of the space non-garage.
Storage,
Why can we call it some of the space non-garage, as it is, I don't.
But you're applying for it under, you know, you're presenting a garage, a six bay garage.
Well, maybe I shouldn't put a garage down there, maybe in addition to the house or something.
That's what I'm saying, there may be another way to do that. But before us right now, I mean, I think there's enough notice that what you're doing, so I don't think you need to re-advertise and, you know, reapply. And I think we could potentially consider that other variance, but I think you need to at least represent maybe with the plan or, you know, something in writing saying with this, you know, anything over this 1,200 plus or minus, it's gonna be just some sort of storage, it's not garage, it's gonna be part of the home.
Right now.
so if it's submitted as storage,
Or if it was, you know, part of the home.
I don't, I haven't seen the plan, but if you could separate it, but suppose he's gonna put a tennis court in there, it's gonna be the same thing. It's the same, it's the building, not the cars.
Right.
So I don't think that it's got anything to do with the cars, it's the size of the building. So if you could separate them or something, it's probably not what you wanna do, but
That's what I'm trying to
yeah.
lead you down that road a little bit here.
Put a basketball court in one of them or something.
Yeah, I think if there's, we did have this on another gentleman who, he ended up converting some of it into some sort of utility room space.
And the other one's still not settled, the one on 58.
No, I understand. Is there a way to rework what's in there, the layout of this space, or?
I don't know what you mean, the layout's gonna be the same, I can tell you, I can write down that the additional space gonna be storage, so not 4 bays.
Okay, but you're gonna have, there'll be 2 more garage bays there, garage door bays. Yeah. Yeah, for me, it's, for consistency with, at least in the past, that's what we've done. You know, it's a residential A, they limit it to four big, you know, 4-car garages. To me, that's roughly 1,200 square feet with 2 to 4 doors. And that's just what it is.
I don't think the amount of garage doors has anything to do with it. There was an argument many years ago against that. It's 1 bay with 6 doors.
Yeah, no, and I don't really care about the size, I don't really care about the doors. I was just, you know, typically when it's either gonna be 2 or 4.
Yeah.
But it's an accessory use, and the accessory use allowed would be a garage. You know, there's a list of uses that are allowed. And they're coming in under, you know, a garage. It's just the way
But if he's not gonna put 6 cars there, then he's not trying to get more than a 6-car or 4 cars, what based on our rule.
but it's a size of a 6-car
The
garage.
the size. But if he's only gonna put 4 cars in there, then there's no use, I know that the bylaw's not real clear there, so.
Right. That's just the way I interpret it, I think, because otherwise someone could say, I'm only gonna put 3 cars in this
Right,
space,
yeah.
and they could make it 5,000 square feet and say, it's got 3 cars in it. And I don't think that's what Mr. Woodworth's gonna do,
Right.
I'm just saying,
But if they come here and it's not gonna affect the neighborhood by being too large of a structure, then it should do it, I suppose. For example, like Boyle's Farm up there at the end of Pleasant Street. A nice old house there and a big, beautiful barn out back, and that would be well over 1,200 square feet, and nothing wrong with that. It's on a nice piece of property, set well.
yeah, I mean, I don't know about that one. I'm just not being convinced that, how you get around this accessory use limitation of a 4-car garage.
How much would this go over, the 1,200? Sorry.
1,200.
I
How
think
much would
it's-
this go over?
It's,
Right.
Ron, are these numbers right? The 1152 is the current, and 575 would be the additional?
Yeah, about right.
About right? Okay, so he'd be looking at 17.
It's an overage.
Is there any way to pare that back a little bit?
Not really. When I had the space to do it, I'm utilizing the space I use, other than that, it's behind everything.
I understand that. And this is all attached, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I suppose the one difference would be this is attached to
What's it?
the structure. It's attached.
Yes.
It's not.
The other one was not attached.
It was its standalone structure. And as far as the four-car garage, how would we, I understand you're saying that, but is there any way to ensure that there would only be 4 cars in there? The way it's set up, or is it?
Where it's at, the 4 cars in front.
Yep.
4 bays in front. On the right is 2 cars, I have 2 vehicles here too. So the 4 would be in the front right there. 4 bay in the front. The 2 in the rear would be strictly storage.
Trying to see this.
Any possibility to do the expansion behind instead of to the side?
That's what you're saying.
No,
No?
no.
To make it like deeper than.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying, so,
Elongate the
yeah,
garage.
and make it deeper. I know it would definitely was where you're going with that one.
Just wouldn't be visible.
Alright.
So the depth, to basically add depth into the garages versus adding linear, it can't be done? Or just,
The addition, 2 bay, can't, you want to shorten that?
no, I'm just not really good with math, so basically this is the addition? Sorry about that. So this is the addition right now?
Yeah.
So if you were to add the 2 bays and, how many bays you add? 2?
Adding.
Can you add them here?
No, I have a pool there.
Oh, I didn't know, that
Yeah.
plan didn't show it, so
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
yeah.
No, I was just asking. No, I was just, okay.
What's the other?
What the yellow is?
Yeah, so the thing was, the question is, if this, now you add length to the 2, that's all, just asking. Just thinking out of the box. that's
I mean, you applied for a variance for the setback, so you could just move forward with the variance on the setback. You know, you run the risk on the use variance, which would be an enforcement issue with George. Right before us now is, and you're not asking for the variance on the accessory use. You're just asking for a variance on the side. So, I think on that alone, I'd be okay with it because of the shape of the lot. You know, whether you're gonna need a use variance, you know, that's kind of on you if it comes up. You know, George doesn't seem to be against it now, but you could have a new inspector who is.
Do you have a house on your lot next door that you own? Is that empty?
What's that?
The house on your lot next door, the 2-acre lot, do you own, is there a house on it?
Yeah, it's occupied.
Oh,
I have
okay.
nobody on the other side. I have the reservoir down below.
Oh, okay.
Nobody on the left at all. Got a double lot there.
Okay, great, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we can just move on the application before us on the variance.
Sure. Here, Let you guys talk.
Mr. Woolworth, anything else you want to add?
No?
No, okay. Mr. Berry? No, I don't think anyone else is here for this matter. All right, anything else? Just make a motion to close and go into deliberation, get a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. All right, well, I think from just what's before us on the application for a variance, it's a dimensional variance on a structure that he's looking to construct. I think the shape of the lot is such that it makes sense because of the way this lot kind of pairs back and would restrict, you'd have to start turning it funny, and obviously there's a house there that's just constructed the way it is, so And he said there's no one here opposing it, there's no one really near him next door, so. Any other thoughts, questions?
It's on the,
It's just between us at this point.
yeah, it's on the longer side, but I think it's just good enough that it wouldn't be overwhelming in terms of how large it is. It's on the cusp, but I think it's still good enough.
Okay, John?
Oh, I agree. I mean, you could call it a shed if you wanted to. We called it a garage.
All right, so does anyone want to make a motion, or,
Yeah, I motion to approve it, but.
okay, based on this plan?
Mhm.
Okay, so you're gonna make a motion to approve the application. Make a motion. So make a motion to approve his request for a variance for 12 feet side setback.
Yep, so I'm gonna make a motion to approve the 12 feet setback for the garage and
All right, any discussion
so.
on that?
I'll go on my end.
Okay. You want to ask for a second?
Second,
Second.
All right,
approved?
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, John
Aye.
Brennan.
You good?
All good.
You're all set?
Thank you.
All right,
Is it approved?
it's approved.
Yep.
For the for that,
For that.
the variance that you applied for.
For that.
All right, we can get thank you, Mr. Woodruff.
Diego.
Get in touch with Susan, she'll draw up a decision, there's an appeal period that's gotta run, then you gotta get that decision, once it's filed with the clerk, and record it. So Susan can you can help
She'll
Mr.
guide through
Woodruff,
it.
there's,
Okay,
yeah,
okay, thank you.
you'll be good. All right, you're good. Yeah, you're good.
Free to go.
Sorry. Okay, sorry. All right, we have the continued hearing 11-23, Diego Coelho, 4 School Street, which was continued from May 13th, 7 PM. So Mr. Coelho, yeah, why don't you come on up, Diego, and you can have your engineer come up too. You guys coming up? All right, so Diego, come up, can you come up here real quick, just? All right, so I know we had some continuances, we have a decision deadline, we all agreed to extend it to today. You agreed to that, right?
Yes.
Okay, just wanted to be clear. I appreciate that. I know we were trying to do some, continuances to let you guys kind of work some things out. If I remember correctly, we had an issue with on the plan showing what the actual relief was you need.
Yeah, actually, we contacted survey company, and Webby was the only company that can accommodate what we need to provide a site plan reflecting what the relief we're asking for from the setbacks.
Okay, so we don't have that number now.
No, and yeah,
Do you know roughly what it is? Is it like right on the line, or is it?
the wall right now is basically on the line, so if
Okay.
you were to hold this and move back, it's, the full relief is
so
what
you
you're
need the
asking
full-
for. Considering that that's
Oh, just
considered a
talking to the
structure.
mic, I'm sorry, just
Yeah.
for the minutes.
Considering that that's considered a structure, and I did read the definition of a structure for the town. So, yeah, I mean, look, from my perspective, and I really haven't talked to Diego because I was surprised by the meeting today, I thought it was delayed. What do you think we need to do to remedy it? I mean, the structure is needed, if nothing else, for the septic, if nothing else, to keep the
Erosion.
the slopes we have. And quite frankly, even if we remove the wall and try to slope it back, all of that is going to wash down on the street and the sidewalk. It's, it is what it is, unfortunately. As I've said before, that should have been considered at the time the septic was approved. I know it's not your issue, and I agree with that. But what do you think we need to do to move beyond? The wall is there.
Yep, okay.
So this is strictly a budding driveway to the neighbor. That's the wall we've been talking
Well,
about.
there's the wall on the street,
Yeah, the wall on the street, but
and then there's,
And
we're
the-
talking
the
about
abutting.
proposing a wall along
the
McNamara's
neighbors,
property
yeah,
line.
yes.
So those are the two walls that are,
Should I show you?
Yeah, sure. I've seen it a million
Yeah,
times.
so I mean, this is the street facing, the wall facing the street, and previously we're talking about this corner here. So I mean,
yep. Just talking to the mic, just so you can catch it. Yep, no, I know it. Okay, do you have anything else?
I mean, I know Diego's willing to work with the neighbor to see what we can do with that common short wall. It's, there is nothing we're trying to do not to be cooperative.
I think that's number one thing to do.
Yeah.
Work with your neighbor.
Even
come up with a
after last
solution.
meeting, we chatted out, and
Right.
the gentleman suggested he wanted to hire his own engineer. I said, okay, if that's what you want to do, go ahead.
I
mean,
thought I heard that the last meeting as
yeah,
well.
so,
Yeah, I
mean,
think, well, this has got to have some finality to it, because it's been continued
Yeah.
so many times. Do you have anything else you guys want to add on how to qualify for the variance?
Not really until the survey is done by Webber Engineering, but in all honesty, I mean, if you want to approve it conditionally on providing you with the survey plan and
Well, the survey for me was just going to show me if there was, you needed 19 feet of
we
relief.
would need, assuming the wall is where we believe it to be at the property line, if you are to hold the 20 feet for new construction, then we will be asking for 20 feet.
Okay, that's,
So you're
Yeah.
gonna move it in 20 feet.
Yeah,
Does that go into the septic system?
yes, it will.
So it cuts into the septic system.
Right.
So it's,
So that's
it
why you
can't be
need the
done.
relief, right. And really, as I said last time, whatever it is we need to do to remedy it, I mean,
27
it's,
feet to the wall according to the as-built, sorry.
hang on, Sharon, because you got to talk into them.
sorry.
So it's,
I talked to the as-built surveyor, he wasn't prepared to stand by the dimensional figures he was showing there. He said this is an as-built, not a survey, because I was trying to actually use his numbers, and he refused to do the survey, so I wouldn't necessarily put much faith in that.
okay.
But the relief we're asking for will be the full setback.
so you need the full
You're-
setback on the
Yeah,
front and the
Yeah,
side.
yeah.
Okay. All right. Do you guys have anything else you want to add? No? Okay.
So if we remove the wall, right,
Yep.
then it would just wash out?
Yeah, you can't remove the wall because it's not safe with the current height of the
Setback.
fill, and the fill itself,
For
yeah,
the septic system?
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
But the cut filled after. Okay. Was there anything
We'll
else?
just need you to go forward.
Well, the wall went up under.
Okay.
Do you have anything else you want to add, questions of the applicant before we?
So just to clarify, we're waiting on the survey to occur. I'm just a little confused
Well,
about the survey.
because the septic system as built, I talked to the engineer, was not really a certified survey. I couldn't rely on the numbers.
Who did that?
When I asked him to try to provide us with certified survey showing on it the current requirement for setback and what we would need for variances, he said he wouldn't be available to do that. So we finally contacted Webby Engineering, who said he would do it next week, start next week. What we intend to with that plan is really give you a certified survey showing the existing wall location, property line, and even the adjacent driveway, and that discussion as to whether that hole that we talked about on whose property and what conflict that may or may not cause. And then provide you with the table of your required setbacks and the variance we're asking for. That's what we intended to provide you with.
So doesn't the septic system have to submit a certified stamped PE drawing? to
It
the
is,
town?
and he said it is for the as-built. I agree, And it is stamped, but he said it's only for the purpose of the septic as-built. No property line, no accuracy with dimension. It's the as-built of the septic.
No accuracy of the dimensions, huh?
Well, we can assume you're gonna need
Yes. so-
almost all the
Yeah,
relief.
absolutely.
All
With
right,
your-
or very close to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're absolutely correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who is a septic person, if you don't mind me asking?
Tom Pembroke,
Who?
Yeah.
who did the septic system?
Yeah.
It's all Tom Pembroke.
Well,
No, Marshfield, sorry.
Who?
Old Town?
All time.
Oh, I'm just curious, I'm just more curious.
Okay. Mr. Berry, I know you had, do you have anything you wanted to,
No,
just, if you gotta talk into the microphone, obviously.
no, other than,
Okay.
I think the whole thing makes sense as long as we get these configurations right and the neighbors are happy. But we mainly just want, it just seemed like they moved the wall between the two properties back off the property line, maybe to give him a variance and keep him back 2 feet, so he's got room to put his fence in front of it so they don't see the wall. Just-
Yeah.
Sharon, yeah, you can, just, we've heard, a lot, I know you probably saw some of this from the last time, but.
Yeah, I was watching.
We can, yeah, go ahead.
So, can I say this? So I guess part of the issue is, and you know how I feel about people coming and asking for forgiveness rather than coming to you and asking for approval. So I have zero tolerance when it comes to that, and when I sat on this board, I felt the same way. So the way I look at it is, this home was purchased, I just happened to have been the listing agent on that property. They had to put in a new septic system. It is supposedly a single family right now, but there's 14 cars there, but I won't get into all of that, burning trash in the backyard and everything. Has nothing to do with this. My issue is with the wall, that he caused the problem that he has right now. Because the way that the land was before and has been for years, since the doctor owned the place, who was that, Dr. whatever his name was? Anyone remember?
I almost bought the property, so.
Okay, yeah, okay, so you're familiar with it,
No,
right?
very.
So it needed a septic system, which, you know, the stamps are here. My client at the time actually hired this engineer to do it, so it came with the as-built. It seems like that's what they're using. It's the first time I've heard that the lines weren't accurate. But I do feel as if the problem that they have was caused by themselves. Everything was fine, the septic system was put in and installed. If it needed to have a retaining wall, that would have been part of the Board of Health and their requirement to put that in. I mean, I know how that process works, right? So if the engineer went in there, also, these plans, you can't just put a septic system in, right? So the plans had to go to the Board of Health. Board of Health then sends their plans out to their engineer, and about 2 weeks later, those plans will come back, and they'll say, that engineer will say, yes, this is fine, or no, we need some adjustments. I don't see anything in any of the files that said that the town's engineer did not approve the plans as they were, and as we see them, that sit in the file for Board of Health. So what I can see is, they decided that they wanted to up the land, they wanted to increase this privacy because the pool that they uncovered that was there, and they created this wall with no engineering plans. The wall was put in, it wasn't, from what I know, I'm not an engineer, but one of our tenants happens to be an engineer. He said that it wasn't installed the right way. The first level was just sitting on the land and not, like sitting on the ground, not dug in, which it's supposed to do, but it isn't. It was up super, super high. It was raining one day, I stopped just because I couldn't believe, it was like I wanted to go over and put my thumb in it because the water is pouring out of it. And they're just adding walls and putting fill behind it that's causing a problem. My concern, when I brought it to the town, wasn't even so much about the sideline, because guess what? At that point, there was no discussion of suddenly needing to put a wall up next to us. So we weren't really concerned about that. As a resident of Pembroke, who, as you know, loves our town. I'm on several committees in our town. That wall was dangerous. And I called and I talked to a couple people in town and said, this wall is going to come down and crash onto somebody who is walking on our sidewalks, going to Cumberland Farms.
Oh,
That was my main
The one on
concern.
the one on the sidewalk was dangerous, trust me. I seen it.
Dangerous, right?
It's been lowered, I agree with you.
Yeah, so I mean, that was, then he was ordered to take it down, he was ordered to take it down, then get an engineering plan and reinstall it. So the weekend before he had to come back to you, and again, George, I don't think that you've been out there, to be quite honest, to check on it ever, that I can see. You were supposed to meet us there, but you didn't. But I don't think through that whole process that anybody went to say, oh, wait, he left 3 levels up there. That's better than, the other 6 feet or whatever it was falling onto somebody. But that wasn't what he was told to do. He was told to take it all the way down, get it engineered properly, and install it properly. So I'm gonna be honest, as much as I care about what happens in our town, and if that wall falls over onto somebody, it's not gonna be on me, because I've voiced how I feel about it. But now you wanna add a wall on my side, and I'm not letting it happen if I can avoid that. Because if that wall falls down on one of my tenants, I am not gonna be happy. I'm not taking that risk.
So I got a quick question. So when the house was sold, right, it needed a septic system, right?
It needed a septic system.
So who paid for the septic system?
The
sellers?
buyer.
buyer paid for
The
it.
buyer paid for the septic system, because we lowered the
Wasn't in the
price.
purchase and sale agreement, so they lowered the price.
We lowered the price significantly.
on Diego.
As a single-family property, by the way.
No, I'm just curious.
Yeah.
So it was lowered, so the septic system was lowered on the price of the sale and put on the onus of Diego.
So the price of the septic system, we never had a price, well, we did have some evaluations maybe
So
done.
the seller didn't sell it.
The seller didn't, the seller
Was-
just
got off,
provided the
okay.
as-built, the engineering.
So the seller did the as-built.
Yep,
Okay.
because right now you can see my client's name is on here.
No, no, that's fine.
Yeah, so the seller's name is on here, and they had to install it. But during that process, nobody ever said,
Oh, the seller installed it.
no.
They provided, they got the
The
design, they
seller
paid
had-
the engineering
They
design
had the
and
engineering
as-built.
done, and they gave it off to the seller,
Who
to
did
the
that?
buyer.
Who was the engineer?
Collins
Collins, okay.
from Bridgewater.
No, I'm just
right
curious, I
here.
was just curious, that's all, I was just asking.
But in that process, no one ever said anything about a retaining wall. Nobody said anything, because honestly, I would have had to have known that as the listing agent on that property, where I would have said, hey, this isn't your, just your general gravity-fed,
So
system. You need a whole wall.
Collins never recommended a retaining wall,
No,
so why do we need a retaining wall?
because they decided to fill it to
No,
get a
I'm
level
just-
backyard.
Okay, so basically, if Collins could stand behind the question of saying, there's no retaining wall required.
That would be my guess. There might be a retaining wall required now, but that was because
No,
he
but
chose
they.
to bring Phil in.
But, we're just talking.
Yeah, I know.
So Collins basically did a septic system,
Yeah.
designed and installed a septic system, and if we went to Collins today, would they say there was a retaining wall required based on the
According
grading?
to what I had, no.
Perfect, that's all I was asking.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm just going back to the engineers, the professionals, and
All right, so
trust me, I have all that experience.
Sharon, you're obviously against
I'm just
Well,
asking.
first of all, I think that I'm not against anything,
no, I
to
mean
be
the
quite
side,
honest.
the sidewall.
The sidewall, yeah, I'm against that being right on my
Okay.
line. I mean, you
Yep.
have 20 feet, I don't see the need, I see the want, I see the desire,
No, I'm.
but I do not see a need or a
I'm just-
necessity
No,
Okay,
that's
so-
good.
on that side. He wants a bigger backyard, I get it.
Okay.
That front one, as a
Yeah.
resident of Pembroke, I personally would have preferred that the whole thing came down
The sidewalk,
to the sidewalk, whether he has that setback or not, whether that's granted to him or not.
I don't know.
I would
setback.
have preferred to seen that come all the way down, get engineered on how to properly install a wall.
I mean, he did knock it down 2 blocks, which was like whatever, to a safer level. But I think it's probably more about your abutting property or.
But the other wall wasn't, I'm just saying.
I know.
Can I address
Yes, sir.
Wait, wait.
Well, am I done? I'm not done.
No,
really.
no, no.
Well, I think,
Whatever.
I think
So
we-
I think Collins Engineering, well,
yeah, I mean, I'm not as, I mean, they're here for a variance. you know, there's a
I mean,
standard.
if they say there wasn't a wall required for wash-off on your side of your property, your rental property,
They didn't say that there was one required for the sidewalk side.
so you're.
Okay.
There
Yes.
wasn't one needed at all. And then, George, I know that Joe Stack had spoke to you as well and said that he went down there and looked at it, and I have pictures of when it rains, water coming out of it right now, even standing this high. Again, I'm not against it, whatever he needs to do, but I don't think causing your own problems necessarily constitute a variance to be given because somebody chose to do that.
Understood.
But I also think, hey, we're here today, are we gonna be here in 50 years? So if he keeps on adding land to that and fill, and it's not installed properly,
Yeah,
that, I mean, I was told, George, I was told from you and Joe, maybe originally, that first, oh, excuse me, sorry about that, Comcast, that first level that goes in has to be sort of like below grade, and then stacked up upon that.
Whatever an engineer would recommend.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
okay, that's all I have to say.
Thank
I
you.
just don't think it's necessary for the sideline. He wants it, I get it, but I don't want it on mine because the way that it's installed now, the town can deal with how they want to handle water pouring out of a wall and that washing through, but I don't want to deal with that on my side and having my residents at risk,
Okay.
my
Understood.
tenants.
All right, so we had suggested the sidewall, so that wasn't actually part of his application, so,
so on the sidewalk side, are you okay with it?
Yes, sir.
I just want you guys to make the decision that
I
you feel as
understand.
if it's safe. I'm not making that decision. I'll tell you, I don't sit on that board anymore. I'm not, so
right.
I'm not gonna make that decision. Clearly, you have an engineer here who's gonna stamp it and approve it, that the
No, no,
owner
no.
is the one that hired. So
Yep.
you guys have a big decision to make if you think it's safe or not, but have you seen I have video, if you wanna see video of the water pouring out in a rainstorm.
No, I've been at this for over 30 years, building 2 engineering degrees or real estate, the whole 9 yards, so I get
Yeah,
it.
like you can see the water like
No,
coming
no,
out
I
when
get
it rains.
I get it.
So
All right,
I would just, if I was, hey, again, I'm part of the town, I don't wanna see anybody get hurt. And I don't know if that will happen, potentially it won't, but I just wanted to bring it to your attention.
Thank you.
all right, excellent, thank you, Sharon.
Thank you,
Thank you very
appreciate it.
Can I
Yeah.
Yeah, briefly.
I really want to stay in my lane myself, but I felt for my client that there were a lot of statements that were made that were irrelevant to the discussion as to whether the insinuation of single family and 14 cars
Doesn't matter, I
and
striked
trash.
it, I striked it.
No, hold on. So there was a lot of prejudicial statement made that should not be even tolerated, quite frankly, on behalf of my client. But now
She
let me
can,
go back.
if a neighbor wants to express her opinion on the application and the property, that's fine.
So what's the relevance of 14 car and trash in the back?
It doesn't
That-
matter.
that has nothing to
This
do-
is about a wall and a septic system.
Right,
Right.
So
exactly.
anybody
So-
can voice her opinion.
Yeah.
So this is strictly about the wall.
We're not
and
considering-
septic system.
I understand that. I
Mr.
didn't say you
Diego's-
are. I said they are prejudicial to my client.
But
They-
we're
they
telling
should
you, we're not
They
considering
should
that.
not be, that's fine.
It's
But
irrelevant.
I will address the wall as you have it, not the original high wall. So those are considered gravity walls.
Yeah,
They are not supposed to be whatever, 12 feet, 12 inches, whatever it is, below grade or below ground. They're supposed to sit on a leveling pad, 6 inch of crushed stone. That's what they are. It is actually preferable for gravity walls to leak water, to release the hydrostatic pressure, okay? It's preferable you do that. And that's what this wall does. It relies on interlocking mechanism. This wall is going nowhere.
So
Its own weight is keeping it in place.
so the gravity
Yeah,
wicks through the interlocking thing. There's no holes drilled for drainage.
no, yeah,
It's not
right, it's
required for
seeping through
interlocking.
between the blocks, and it's okay. It's
no, I get
okay
it.
to relieve that pressure. I provided George with the design
No,
calculation,
I'm just
even though,
asking.
no, I understand that, even though it's really not required under building code, because it's under 4 feet. It has to be
Under
6
4
feet
feet's
and
not
above.
structural. I
Right,
get it, yeah.
right.
Doesn't require-
So, as
Well, with
to-
the cap it is.
it's 4 feet 6 inches with the cab.
Yes.
The cab is not considered part of the wall. The sidewall really on the driveway, we never intended to put it. I think George was trying to help eliminate any of water leak over there. We're happy to take that wall completely off on the side. We have already a wooden fence. We're fine with that. You can see that. I will strike it from the plan and just consider the front sidewalk.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, I mean,
Do you guys have anything else you wanna
no,
submit? Okay. Sean, do you have anything else? Okay. All right. Mr. Diego, you all,
No, so just to say.
just talk to them, just for the
Like,
minutes.
that's why we was trying to put a vinyl fence on the top of that, because you can see I don't have any guidance at my lens.
Okay,
I don't know for which reason they want to know what I'm doing at my yard.
all righty. You guys have anything else? Those we can close and,
Yeah, just,
And, guys, just need to do anything, I'm gonna do it,
well, before us is the variance. Well, George, can I have you one sec? So, the status of that wall now, you required them to take it all the way down, or just down to what it is now?
Down to where it is now.
Down to where it is now? And
We
then,
felt as though that was safe where it is,
2 blocks all the way around.
yes.
okay, and has it been inspected and,
No, not really, I mean, we looked at it, but if they get past this, then we've been provided the engineering, but we'll get into the engineering and make sure that part's right before we issue a permit.
okay. So right now, if this is denied, then they have to take that down. What's there? Assuming they don't appeal it or something.
I would say so, yeah.
That'd be on, okay.
Will it wash out?
No, I'm not worried about that.
Okay.
It had in the past.
Okay.
Before the wall was there, I would get calls from the DPW, this is going back a couple of years, that was washout, when it was
Okay.
just a fence.
The application, it's closed.
No?
The app,
Is it closed?
the, if they, so they haven't done the engineering yet.
we have,
But they've done it, but they haven't put in an
Right,
application in.
right, so another option would be to withdraw their variance, right? Take that wall down, work with you to get it done right, or plans to do it right, and then could come in for a variance.
And then they may be spinning their wheels with engineering and so forth.
But I mean, that's the way it would have been done if they did it the right way, right?
I think there would have been no wall like there was
They would have
a year
came to
ago.
you,
They would have came, I think they would have came here and got permission to build a wall.
and then went to you with the engineering and figured out the construction.
Yeah.
Right.
Because you know there's a way of doing it, whether we agree with their engineering or not, we could come to some conclusion of how to build it.
Yeah, I mean, as it sits, I haven't seen anything for me that meets the standard of a variance. I mean, you're asking for all the relief. You know, the soil conditions, the shape, the topography. Again, part of that land was filled in, so you're creating your own hardship there.
So could he,
I see it two ways. If we vote on this, I mean, I'm against it, so then you gotta wait the 2 years to reapply. Another option is possibly withdraw it, take that wall down, or get it engineered and done properly, or get some plans done and then present them to you, and then come to us with doing it the right way. I mean, that's the way I'm looking at it. The other option is we can vote on a variance. I mean, I'm against it, so there's gonna be a 2-year appeal, period to wait for that, assuming you're not successful on an appeal.
if you voted down.
You gotta talk to the mic.
If you voted down, essentially required to be taken down, my client says, I'm not taking it down. You get involved in litigation for the next whatever number of years you have. I agree with you, it wasn't done right, but I'm not saying it was done right. I came to help my client after the fact and to inspect the wall, do the analysis on it, and provide the proper engineering for it. the truth of the matter is, the wall exists. If you remove it now, all of that is going to wash onto your street, all of that.
But was there a wall before he bought the house?
He can answer me.
Okay.
It's a wooden fence, the same
Yeah.
fence that was around the other, on the picture.
So the way I see it is, for me, it's, you can withdraw and you can deal with George and he can tell you gotta tear it down or, you work with him, because technically you not have a variance, so you can't have it up. Or you can let us go to a vote,
So,
but if you lose on the vote, it's a 2-year time period before you can reapply.
I agree, but it's more for the town, because I don't think he's going to take it down. So you get involved, you get the
Yeah, I mean, that's not, I mean, if he wants
enforcement
to,
officer to say, take it down, he won't take it down, and go into court.
yeah.
right, if you want,
Right, but that's, we don't want that.
that's why I'm,
We're
that's why I
appealing to
was,
We're appealing to your good heart there to say, the wall is only 4 feet. If that was stone wall, by the way, there will not even be this kind of discussion.
but we are here.
We're removing that wall adjacent to the driveway, because they don't want it. We really never wanted to put it there. I thought George was trying to accommodate the need of the abutters.
No, I appreciate that, I'm
We'll
not,
take that out.
Yeah, no, we're good.
Well,
That's
we
fine.
also don't want the dirt in. I know it's closed.
Yeah, we
but I think
can.
one thing that's important to say is they
But-
have caused the problem. No dirt has ever gone into the street.
Sharon, I know, we gotta,
I'm sorry.
so that's the way I see it. If you want to withdraw and then try to work with George on it, or you can go to a vote.
When the septic system was put in, this should have been proposed,
I agree.
and it wasn't, I take it. So the person installed the septic system without requiring a wall, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna go back and.
No, I'm
what
not gonna
happened.
go back in history.
So it's up to your, Mr. Diego, do you wanna, I'm sorry, Mr. Diego, do you want to move forward with us with taking a vote, or do you wanna withdraw the application, and maybe try to work something out with George before he makes you take it down?
How would that work?
If he withdraws his application for a variance, he doesn't have a variance. So he's in violation of zoning, right? So we'd have to take it down.
Right.
But you'd do that, you'd enforce that.
So-
If we, my thought is, because if we go to a vote, and as it sits now, I'm a no. So then you'd have to wait, either appeal it and go litigate, or you're gonna have to wait 2 years before you can apply again. So if there's something you can do to work it out with you, maybe you can do something to,
Be a good neighbor, no?
no, I'm not even the neighbor, but just get the construction done right. You know, you guys are kind of coming in, backwards.
Construction is not right. I apologize.
Right, but I don't, we have nothing in
And
front
it's
of
stamped
us.
by an engineer. No, I respect what you're
Yeah.
saying, but I stand it. I'm qualified in
this
this
is-
case to tell you, the wall is safe and constructed correctly. I don't know what you keep saying, work it out with George, and George saying, we have no other way.
Okay, you guys,
So-
we can go to a vote.
Can you explain that by stamped safe and that it meets all the regulations?
Yes. Yes.
We have another couple of these vaguely similar situations happening, so just to kind of touch on what may be coming down the road is, if that wasn't a retaining wall, and I'm not suggesting anything here other than, if it wasn't a retaining wall, the slope ended at the base of the wall, and he took off, let's just say the top section, so now it's only like 3 foot tall, how would that be different than just a regular old stone wall? I mean, at some point, as soon as it becomes a retaining wall, I think then, that's what triggers the
Structural.
the thing. But I'm just throwing that out there.
No, I mean, look, I can't come up with different scenarios of what could be there and what's
Yeah.
not there. We can only deal with what's there, and that's what's there. Those are the two options I mean, those are the two options. Either go to a vote.
So, if
Yeah,
you,
I mean, I sat in your position in the town of Duxbury, on the zoning board of appeal, on
Yeah,
the
that's
planning
all.
board, and on the board of selectmen. And one of my goals was to always try to make sure I work toward accommodating what the clients in the town needs. I do not see any safety issues. I do not really see aesthetic issues. We've added a green zone as requested. We've done everything you can possibly ask for. I know you have the power to say no, but you're trusted by the town to do the right things as well. And from my perspective, as George is indicating, grant the variance, even though slap the client on the hand because he didn't ask for it beforehand, and just forgive him. There is nothing offensive about the wall right now. Structurally sound and safe. And we're adding the green zone to disguise everything else and pretty up the yard. I don't know what else we can do more, except regrade the entire yard and change the septic system design. And I cannot tell you whether the septic engineer did think he needed all or not. Most septic engineers do not think as structural engineers.
No, I know,
Okay.
it's a totally different thing, I get it, I've been through it a million times, I get it. Thank
All
you.
right.
It seems to me that if the McNamara's are happy, then there's, I don't see any problem with it. At the height that it's at, I had a problem with it when it was 8 feet tall. I didn't like it was, we were afraid of it. And I didn't think it looked good for the whole Bryanville Center there. But now it seems reasonable, and it serves the purpose that he needs, and as long as the McNamara's are happy, that
Okay.
You wanna speak, Ms. Marker?
Ms. McNamara, did you want to say one more thing? Because you just got to come up to the,
Yeah,
But isn't it closed?
no, we didn't close.
no, we got a couple
Arizona
minutes.
serves the purpose of the McNamara's. He created this and built the property up almost 5 feet.
Right.
It's now probably 2.5 feet higher than the base of the fence, which is washing out to my property. So now it has become my problem. So that's where I'm at.
Okay.
And nothing has
Understood.
been done to even attempt to fix it. It's just been sitting there.
Right. Okay.
So I'm just tired of it washing onto my property. I don't want a wall there because once he puts a wall there, he's gonna put an 8-foot fence there. And now I'm gonna be staring at 14 or 15-foot wall. So
Okay.
that's why I'm against the wall on my property. But
Understood.
he created this. There was never a washout issue before, 17, 18 years.
Right.
I mean, after the septic was put in, it's still gonna be a washout.
Okay. Appreciate it. All right.
Thank you.
I think we
That's what,
can,
I just wanted to say that as well, is that he caused his own problem, and I feel bad, I don't want anybody to have to, spend time, energy, and money redoing something, but I still go back to, we have these boards in place, there are the majority of our citizens in this town, us being one of them, always ask for approval, and we don't ask for forgiveness. And this, to me, is just one of those cases
Excuse me.
that somebody came, they did exactly what they wanted, they chose to put up a wall to fill it in because he wants his backyard to be a certain way, and I think that that's fine, but perhaps he should have gone about it the right way. And now, it never, the whole time that the doctor lived there for years and my clients lived there, that never washed out onto the sidewalk. It started washing out onto the sidewalk because they chose to fill it and not based on the plans for the septic system.
okay.
That was what they decided to do.
All right.
So I just think that, again, I don't want to cause them, I mean, we're neighbors, we don't live in the property, but I don't want to cause hardships or, grievances amongst us. But I also am not going to clean up a mess that somebody chose not to follow the rules. And that mess ends up on my yard or on town property.
Okay. All right. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Do you have any other questions of the applicant?
I'm Susan Hammond-Donald, and I'm here again out of interest because I have a similar issue. George alluded to it, maybe not
Yeah,
just mine.
Are you here on this matter?
I'm here to, George alluded to my matter and maybe some others, so I thought it only appropriate that I get to say why I'm here. And as a member of the town, I think,
Because you spoke last time and told us
I
that,
did.
right? Yeah, so, and I appreciate that, but we got to get to a decision here. We can't just keep, and I appreciate you being here.
Thank
no,
you.
and I appreciate you wanting to control
We
the discussion.
No, we heard your position last time. It's just, respectfully, it's just repetitive.
Well,
And I appreciate it, but we just got to move this along, otherwise it's going to be until 9 at night.
I'm concerned about precedent.
Okay, I I know you said that the last
Duly
time.
noted.
All right, do you guys have any other questions of the applicant?
No.
Anything else you want to have before we close? Okay. Make a motion to close and go into deliberation, a second.
Second.
All's in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right. What are you thinking?
And listen to you.
Yeah, I agree the process kind of has perspective, so.
Yeah,
Start with my recommendation.
okay,
I agree.
all right. You want to make a motion?
To continue?
No, it would be either, we're making a motion, we'll vote
Motion to vote, John Grant.
for, what are you voting for?
Deny it?
Okay, so you're making a motion to deny the application. Okay, get a second?
Aye.
All right, all's in favor?
John Grant,
Aye,
aye.
aye. There it is. Thank you all. We can do our minutes.
Yeah, we're doing this.
Susan, we have the 18th, the 29th,
And the 13th,
and the 13th.
one of them
So,
is executive session.
Some backups, yeah.
I've reviewed them all. Have you guys all reviewed the minutes?
Yeah.
So I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from March 18th, April 29th, May 13th,
Yep, and the executive session.
and the
for
executive session
March 18th,
from March 18th.
there's 4 of them, yeah.
A second?
Aye.
All's in
Second, John.
favor?
Aye.
Aye, John Grant.
All right. Susan, was that it on the
Yes.
administrative side?
Yes.
All right. We don't have any other business, right? Okay.
No?
All right, meeting adjourned. Thank you all.
Thank you all.